Okay, so let's proceed. Accounting has evolved through time changing with the needs of society. So as new types of transactions occur in trade and commerce, accountants develop rules and procedures for recording them. And these rules and procedures are called generally accepted accounting principles, or what we call GAAP. GAAP, or generally accepted accounting principles, represent the rules, procedures, practice, and standards followed in the preparation and presentation of financial statements. So right now, we are now on the preparation and presentation of financial statements. So we are following rules, procedures, and standards in the preparation and presentation of financial statements. Generally accepted accounting principles are like laws that must be followed in financial reporting. So ito yung sinusunod natin because it's generally accepted. So ito yung mga rules and regulations that we follow in financial reporting. And generally accepted accounting principles have developed on the basis of experience, reason, custom, usage, and practical necessity. Okay. So for financial reporting, this GAAP is also referred to as accounting standards. So ito yung sinusunod natin. These are the accounting standards that we follow in the preparation and presentation of the financial statements or in financial reporting. So what's the purpose of accounting standards? So the overall purpose of accounting standards is to identify proper accounting practices for preparation and presentation of financial statements. So we need to identify proper accounting practices for the preparation and presentation of financial statements. Accounting standards create a common understanding between preparers and users of financial statements, particularly the measurement of assets and liabilities. Because we have accounting standards, so the preparers and the users of the financial statement would have a common understanding because we only follow the accounting standards. A set of high-quality accounting standards is a necessity to ensure comparability and uniformity in financial statements based on the same financial information. So again, the purpose of the accounting standard is to ensure comparability and uniformity of the preparation and presentation of the financial statements. So if there are accounting standards, who are responsible for the creation of the accounting standards? So we have accounting standard setting bodies. So sila yung responsible in the creation of the accounting standards that we follow in the preparation and presentation of the financial statements. So here we have international setting bodies, standard setting bodies, and Philippine or local setting or Philippine standard setting bodies. So that's international setting and Philippine settings, standard setting bodies. So who is the standard setting body of the Philippines and in the international setting? So under international setting, the standard setting body is the International Accounting Standards Committee. Okay, so while in the Philippines, the counterpart of International Accounting Standards Committee in the Philippines is the Accounting Standards Council. Okay, pronouncement. What is pronouncement? Ito yung standards created by this standard setting body. So anong tawag doon sa standards created by these standard setting bodies? So under international setting, IASC created the pronouncement or the standard called International Accounting Standards or IAS. And the counterpart of this IAS in the Philippines is called Philippine Accounting Standards. Therefore, IASC created the standard IAS, while in the Philippines, Accounting Standards Council created the standard or pronouncement Philippine Accounting Standards. Okay. Interpretations body. Okay, ano tong interpretations body? Interpretations body, sila yung nagbibigay, nagkikreate ng interpretations with the standard because some of the standards does not provide clear-cut rules and regulations. So, hindi clear yung ibang standards as to how to apply, how to prepare or present in the financial statements this particular item. So their interpretations body, they are the ones responsible in creating rules, clear-cut rules, or in creating interpretations about the standards. Okay, for uniformity. Okay, so under International Accounting Standards Committee, they created standing interpretations committee. So sila yung nag-create, gumagawa ng interpretations for those standards, for those IAS na hindi clear. 'Di ba? May mga provisions na hindi clear sa standards. So sila yung gumagawa ng interpretations para maging uniform yung application. While in the Philippines, yung interpretations body created by Accounting Standard Council is the Interpretations Committee. So, yung Interpretations Committee, sila yung gumagawa ng mga interpretations ng PAS. If there are PAS or Philippine Accounting Standards na hindi clear yung application, how to apply the standard. So, sila yung gumagawa ng interpretations to make the standard clear, the application of the standards clear. Okay, but this is the old setting body, this is the old pronouncement and the interpretations body. So right now, this standard setting body and even the pronouncement and interpretations committee were being replaced. So at present, the standard setting body in the international setting is the International Accounting Standards Board. So IASB replaces IASC. Okay, so in the Philippines, so the counterpart of IASB is the Financial Reporting Standards Council. So the existing standard setting body in the Philippines is the Financial Reporting Standards Council. So FRSC replaces the Accounting Standards Council. Okay, so right now, ito yung present standard setting body internationally and in the Philippine setting. How about the pronouncements? Are there changes in the pronouncement? Yes, merong kaibahan sa pronouncements. Okay, so for international setting, International Accounting Standard Boards created the pronouncement and they called their pronouncement as International Financial Reporting Standards or IFRS. So sino yung responsible for the creation of IFRS is si IASB. While in the Philippine setting, the pronouncement created by FRSC is called Philippine Financial Reporting Standards. Okay, so ito yung bagong standard, so PFRS. So that the present standards right now is called PFRS in the Philippines, and in the international setting it is called as IFRS. How about the interpretations body? Okay, so the interpretations body for international setting, IASB created the IFRIC or the International Financial Reporting Interpretations Committee. So, IFRIC or IFRIC replaces the Standing Interpretations Committee. So, right now, the present interpretations body under the international setting is the International Financial Reporting Interpretations Committee. So, sila yung gumagawa ng interpretations about IFRS. If there are provisions under IFRS na hindi clear, if there are standards under IFRS na hindi clear yung interpretations, hindi clear yung application ng standard, so si IFRIC yung gumagawa ng interpretations. While for the Philippines, the interpretations body or the present interpretation body of the Philippines is the Philippine Interpretations Committee. So FRSC created the Philippine Interpretations Committee. So they are the ones responsible in the creation of interpretations about PFRS. If there are standards under PFRS that does not provide clear-cut rules and application, so si Philippine Interpretations Committee yung gumagawa ng interpretations about the standards, on how to apply the standards. Okay, so this is the present body. So PIC, Philippine Interpretations Committee, again, replaces the Interpretations Committee. So at present, the standard setting body in the international setting is the IASB, while in the Philippines, it's FRSC. Okay, so again, the previous standard setting body, we have international setting, you have IASC, and the pronouncements created by IASC is called International Accounting Standards, or IAS, and the Interpretations Committee created by IASC is Standing Interpretations Committee. And the Philippine counterpart of this international setting body is, for the old setting body, you have Accounting Standards Council, and the pronouncement or the standards created by the Accounting Standard Council is called Philippine Accounting Standards. And Accounting Standards Council created the Interpretations Committee, diba, as their interpretation body. But right now, at present, it was being replaced for the international setting. It was being replaced by International Accounting Standards Board, and in the Philippines, FRSC. If the question right now, who is the present standard setting body in the Philippines, and the answer is FRSC. Okay, what is the latest pronouncement created by FRSC? So it is called PFRS. So therefore, si FRSC yung gumagawa ng PFRS, tapos si IASB yung gumagawa ng IFRS. Okay, so sir, what if anong kaibahan ni IAS, IFRS, or under Philippine setting, PAS, and PFRS? Actually, they are both accounting standards. They are both accounting standards. But the difference is sino yung responsible for the creation of the standard, or sino yung standard setting body who created the standards. Diba? For IAS, yung international setting body is si IASC. While for IFRS, si IASB. So, yun lang yung difference nila. And if my question na, sir, who will prevail? Diba? What if, sir, my standards under IAS na it was also provided under IFRS? Okay, so sino yung susundin namin? So yung susundin nyo is yung IFRS. Why? Because IFRS, sila yung latest standards. Sila yung pinakabagong standards. So if there are conflict between IAS and IFRS, at the same time, if there are conflict between PAS and PFRS, so yung IFRS and PFRS will prevail. Sila yung susundin nyo because they are the latest standards. Sila yung pinakabagong standards. Okay. Right now, we have existing 41 IAS or PAS. So we have 41 International Accounting Standards and we have 41 Philippine Accounting Standards. But right now, hindi lahat ng 41 accounting standards are still applicable. Why? Because some of them were replaced by the new standard, yung IFRS saka yung PFRS. So, merong ibang standards under IAS and PAS na hindi na applicable, hindi na fina-follow in the preparation and presentation of the financial statement. Again, because it was being replaced by the new standard, which is the IFRS or the PFRS. So, right now, we have 17 existing IFRS and PFRS. Okay, so the latest pronouncement being issued by IASB is IFRS 17. So, ito yung pinaka-latest na standard. Okay, moving towards IFRS. Why Philippines move towards IFRS? So, in the past years, most of the Philippine standards issued are based on American accounting standards. So, diba, in the past years, Philippines is following the standards of America, diba, or American accounting standards. But the Philippines is fully compliant with IFRS effective January 2005. So a process which was started back in 1997 in moving from US GAAP to IFRS. So before, we are using the US GAAP, USA GAAP. But starting January 2005, so we become fully compliant with IFRS. So sir, what's the difference between USA GAAP and IFRS? Actually, they are both accounting standards. Diba? USA GAAP, these are the standards used by America. While IFRS, I think most of the countries are using IFRS right now. So what's the difference between USA GAAP and IFRS? So USA GAAP, actually, USA GAAP is based on rules. Again, USA GAAP is based on rules, di ba? So what is stated on the standard, you need to follow the standard. While IFRS is based on principles. Again, IFRS is based on principles. Okay, so again, the difference between USA GAAP and IFRS is that USA GAAP is based on rules, while IFRS is based on principles. Okay. At present, the FRSC has adopted in their entirety all international accounting standards and international financial reporting standards. So right now, Philippines is fully compliant and fully adopting the IAS and the international financial reporting standards. The move toward IFRS is essential to achieve the goal of one uniform and globally accepted financial reporting standards. But right now, US GAAP and IFRS, they're making some actions to harmonize the standards. Again, for uniformity purposes, because it's very difficult to reconcile. Example, if it's a multinational companies and you have a company in the Philippines and you have a company in the US, diba? We are using different standards. So, but since it's the same company but with different like branches lang, you need to make a consolidated report. It's hard to prepare a consolidated report because both of the countries are using different standards. So that's why right now they are making some actions to harmonize USA GAAP and IFRS, again for uniformity and globally accepted financial reporting standards or financial reports. So these are the factors moving towards IFRS. Why Philippines are moving towards IFRS? So first is support of international accounting standards by Philippine organizations such as the Philippine SEC, Board of Accountancy, and PICPA. Second is increasing internalization of business which has heightened interest in a common language of financial reporting. Third, improvement of international accounting standards or removal of free choices of accounting treatments. Then last is increasing recognition of international accounting standards by the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, and World Trade Organization. So those are the reasons, those are the factors why Philippines move towards IFRS. So I guess that's all for our first topic for the Conceptual Framework, Chapter 1, the Accountancy Profession. So thank you for listening.